Your German car feels fine right now. That is exactly the problem.
The warning signs that destroy BMW, Mercedes, and Audi engines do not announce themselves.
They hide.
They build quietly for months. And by the time most owners notice something is wrong, the repair bill is already past $5,000.
Nobody warns you about this at the dealership. Nobody mentions it when you sign the papers. They hand you the keys, shake your hand, and send you home with a car that has a clock ticking inside it. I have seen it happen over and over again.
A small clunk ignored for 6 months.
A tiny oil spot dismissed as nothing.
A slight shutter brushed off as a rough road.
Each one a warning. Each one missed. Each one turning a $200 fix into a $5,000 nightmare.
Today I am going to show you exactly what to look for before it is too late. And the last warning sign on this list, the one almost nobody catches in time, has emptied more bank accounts than everything else on this list combined.
Do not skip it. Number 5. Suspension wear. The warning sign that feels like nothing. Here is the problem with suspension wear on German cars. It does not feel dangerous. It feels like a slightly rougher ride. A little more road noise. Maybe the car pulls slightly to one side when you brake. And most owners think that is just how an older car feels. That is the mistake that costs them thousands. German cars are engineered with tight suspension tolerances.
BMW, Mercedes, Audi, they all use multi-link suspension systems that deliver that precise, planted feeling you paid for. But those same systems have more components than a Japanese car. More components means more things that wear out. And when they do, they wear out together. Here is what it actually costs when you ignore it. A single worn control arm on a BMW 3 Series is $280 parts and labor. Catch it early. But suspension components do not wear in isolation. By the time most owners notice the problem, the control arm has taken out the ball joint, the sway bar link, and the wheel bearing with it. Now you are looking at $1,400 to $1,800 on a single corner. 4 corners? Do the math. The warning signs right now. Your car drifts slightly when you let go of the steering wheel on a flat road. You hear clunking over speed bumps. Your tires are wearing unevenly on the inside or outside edge. Any one of these means your suspension is already talking to you. Listen to it before it starts screaming through your wallet. What to do? Get a suspension inspection every 40,000 miles. An independent German car specialist charges $80 to $120 for a full inspection. That $100 appointment has saved owners from $2,000 repairs more times than I can count.
Number 4. Transmission issues. The $4,000 problem that starts as a shudder. This one makes me angry. Because it is almost entirely preventable. And yet I see it destroy German car transmissions every single month. Here is what happens.
German manufacturers, BMW, Mercedes, Audi, Volkswagen, all use dual-clutch or ZF automatic transmissions.
These are incredible pieces of engineering. Smooth, fast, precise. But they have one weakness.
They need clean fluid to survive.
And most owners never change the transmission fluid because the manufacturer told them it was lifetime fluid. Lifetime fluid is the most expensive lie in the automotive industry. Lifetime means the life of the warranty. 50,000 to 60,000 miles. After that, the manufacturer does not care.
But your transmission does.
Old degraded transmission fluid loses its viscosity. It stops lubricating the clutch packs properly. And the first sign you get is a slight shudder at low speeds. Around 20 to 30 miles per hour. Just a small vibration. Easy to dismiss.
Most owners dismiss it for 6 months. By the time they bring it in, the clutch packs are worn, the solenoids are damaged, and the transmission needs a full rebuild. ZF8 transmission rebuild on a BMW 5 Series, $3,800 to $4,500. A fluid change every 40,000 miles, $180 to $250.
You do the math. The warning signs right now.
Slight shudder between 20 and 40 miles per hour.
Hesitation when shifting from park to drive.
A clunk when the transmission shifts under light acceleration.
Any of these means your transmission fluid is already overdue.
What to do? Change your transmission fluid every 40,000 miles.
Not 60,000. Not 80,000. Every 40,000 miles.
Use manufacturer-specified fluid only.
Generic compatible fluid is not the same thing. An independent VAG or BMW specialist will do this for $180 to $250. Skip the dealership, they charge $400 for the exact same service. Number 3, coolant system failures. The silent engine killer.
If there is one system on a German car that is engineered to fail, it is the cooling system. And I say that with full seriousness. BMW, Mercedes, and Audi all use plastic coolant components.
Plastic expansion tanks. Plastic thermostat housings. Plastic water pump impellers. Engineers chose plastic to save weight.
But plastic does not survive heat cycles for 150,000 miles.
It cracks. It warps. It fails without warning.
Here is a story that repeats itself constantly.
A BMW 3 Series owner notices a tiny puddle under the car in the morning. Small enough to ignore.
They ignore it for 3 weeks. One afternoon on the highway the temperature gauge spikes. They pull over.
Too late. The head gasket is blown.
What started as a $180 coolant reservoir replacement became a $2,800 head gasket repair. I have seen this exact scenario more times than I can remember.
On a Mercedes C-Class, the thermostat housing is plastic and it sits directly on the engine block.
When it cracks, and it will crack, coolant sprays onto the exhaust manifold. You get steam, you get smell, and if you keep driving you get a warped cylinder head. That repair starts at $3,200.
The warning signs right now.
Any coolant smell inside or outside the car. A sweet smell after you park, that is coolant burning off somewhere it should not be. Your temperature gauge running slightly higher than normal.
White smoke from the engine bay. A low coolant warning light. Any single one of these means act immediately. What to do? Inspect your coolant reservoir for cracks every time you check your oil.
Flush the coolant every 50,000 miles and replace the thermostat at the same time. A $25 thermostat replaced proactively has saved owners from $3,000 repairs.
This is the cheapest insurance you can buy for a German engine. Number 2, oil leaks. The warning sign hiding in plain sight. Every German car leaks oil eventually. BMW, Audi, Mercedes, it is not a question of if. It is a question of when and how bad. And the difference between a $200 fix and a $2,000 fix is simply how long you wait. German engines use a valve cover gasket made of rubber that hardens over time. Around 60,000 to 80,000 miles it starts seeping. Just a small amount at first. Easy to miss unless you know where to look. But that small seep drips onto the exhaust manifold. It burns. It smokes slightly. And it slowly gets worse. On a BMW N52 engine the valve cover gasket replacement is $380 parts and labor. Catch it at the seeping stage and that is all you pay. But owners who ignore it end up with oil burning onto hot engine components, degraded spark plug boots from oil saturation, and a misfire that adds another $400 to the bill. On an Audi 2.0T the rear main seal goes next, that is $800 more. The warning signs right now. A slight burning smell after you park. Small oil spots on your driveway, not a puddle, just spots. Oil level dropping between changes faster than it used to. A thin film of grime building up around the valve cover or rear of the engine. These are not cosmetic issues. These are your engine asking for help. What to do? Check underneath your car once a month. Takes 30 seconds.
If you see any oil residue around gaskets or seals, get it inspected immediately. Catching an oil leak early is almost always a $200 to $400 repair. Ignoring it is almost always a $1,500 to $2,500 repair.
Number 1. Electrical system malfunctions. The most expensive problem on this entire list. This is the one.
The warning sign that starts as a minor annoyance and ends with repair bills that make grown adults cry in the parking lot of a dealership.
German cars have the most sophisticated electrical systems of any vehicles on the road. BMW iDrive, Mercedes Command, Audi MMI. Hundreds of control modules communicating constantly. It is impressive engineering. It is also a financial liability the moment something goes wrong. Here is what makes German car electrical problems so devastating. They are almost impossible to diagnose without expensive equipment. An independent mechanic with a generic OBD scanner cannot read half the fault codes on a modern BMW or Mercedes.
You need manufacturer-specific diagnostic software that costs thousands of dollars. Which means you end up at the dealership. And the dealership charges $180 to $220 per hour just to plug in the computer. I have seen owners spend $600 in diagnostic fees before a single part was replaced. A failed body control module on a Mercedes E-Class, $1,400 parts and labor.
A failing Vanos solenoid on a BMW, $600.
A bad SAM unit on an older Mercedes, $900 to $1,800 depending on the model. And these failures rarely come alone.
One failing module creates fault codes in 3 others.
Now you are chasing ghosts through a $220 per hour maze.
The warning signs right now.
Random warning lights appearing and disappearing.
Windows or mirrors behaving erratically. The start-stop system failing randomly. Interior lights flickering.
Your battery draining overnight for no clear reason.
These are not minor glitches. These are your electrical system telling you something is failing.
What to do? Find an independent specialist who has manufacturer-specific diagnostic tools for your brand. They exist and they charge 40 to 60% less than the dealership for identical work. The moment you see random warning lights, do not wait. Early diagnosis on an electrical issue costs $150 to $200. Waiting until modules start failing costs $1,500 to $4,000.
There it is. 5 warning signs. Suspension wear that feels like nothing. Transmission shudder that owners dismiss for months. Coolant leaks that destroy engines in an afternoon. Oil leaks hiding in plain sight. And the electrical problems that empty bank accounts without warning. German cars are worth owning. But only if you know what to watch for. The owners who drive these cars to 200,000 miles are not lucky. They are paying attention. Now you are too. If you want to know exactly which German cars have these problems the least and which ones will drain your wallet the fastest, that video is coming next. Do not miss it.